Hi there, I'm Jeff Birmingham and this is mytopstory.com for April 9th, 2008.
My top story of the day would probably be the U.S. presidential elections and what's going on in Mrs. Clinton's camp and Barack Obama's camp. Mrs. Clinton seems to be losing people. She's not quite as strong as as Mr. Obama's camp perhaps, or as strong as she thought she was going to be.
I live in Victoria, so everyone complains about homelessness and drugs. I guess I would say the overpopulation of the planet is the biggest thing I can think of as a problem. Kids starving in Africa, global warming. There's an endless list of things that all come from one source. I don't think there is any solution that can come without a huge amount of suffering. If you look at the sense of now, there's no solution.
So what's your top story today?
I don't have a top story.
What's your top story?
It's just very
global warming every day. It's time to take action on it, and I don't think the politicians will, so the ordinary people have to start taking as much action as they can. A lot more people could walk to work or run to work or take their bikes to work or take the bus.
My top story today would be that the homeless population in Vancouver and elsewhere is increasing a lot more than what's being reported. People on the street know that the numbers are quite misleading, probably by 50%.
What's your top story today?
Probably all the poverty going on and how everyone's just going on with their lives and not really doing anything about it. It seems like we're spending all this money on the Olympics and stuff like that when really it could be going to so many more things.
SYJA, Street Youth, Job Action.
We have certain routes and we walk around and we try to keep the city clean by picking up garbage, as you can see. I think the government should make more shelters and for the people that are homeless nowadays, because the numbers are going up extremely, especially in the cold weather, right?
I'm forced on the street through my dire situation. A lot of it's self-made, but I have to get through it. Just like many other people, we all have our own story, and I just hope there that a little more compassion by the people that see us on the street. Don't get too disgusted, because we are just like them. We don't predict where we're going to be 10 years from now, and they cannot either.
Human beings, we in general, we don't use our entire capabilities. We only use 10% of our mind, right? All these feelings we get, love, hate, respect, it's all a biological trick which is triggered from your mind, you know. And love is a biological part of the trick which keeps the process of life going, if you know what I'm trying to say. And same with hate and everything. It's all part of our feelings, so that's a good topic to talk about.
What's your top story today?
Probably the protests against the Olympics in China. Perhaps the politicians need to take measures with the Chinese government to stop any kind of alleged human rights abuses.
I guess what concerns me at the moment is China and Tibet, of course. I'm appalled at the fact that countries that call themselves democracies do not allow peaceful protest. The people have a right to be out in the streets and say how they feel.
I guess my top story of the day would be the Olympics in China there. I think it's a really good opportunity to say something about what's going on in China and Tibet and all of the other things.
Without the Olympics, the protests for Tibet just might not have happened.
What's the most important news story of the day for you today?
I haven't been watching the news, man.
I've been listening to the news about the situation in Merritt with that tragedy there, and boy, it really makes you think. You know, you're hearing about as to whether or not this man should have been apprehended earlier in that week because of his behavior. I don't know, maybe they're being too lenient with people that are going off the deep end. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not there.
He was apparently arrested, I think, a week before this had all happened and released because the judge presiding over his case didn't know that there was issues with violence in the family and in the home.
When a person that is apparently showing signs of him being dangerous, perhaps something can be done sooner than later. Can't place any judgment on it, but it's a sad thing. It really is.
What's your top story of the day?
I'd say my top story is the bylaw for not smoking in Vancouver. I personally am a smoker, but I just think it really makes a big difference, and I actually agree with it. The fact that I can't smoke here, and it's good because it kind of forces us, makes us a dying race.
I think the smoking ban is good But I don't agree with the fact that I couldn't leave the concert last night if I wanted to. So for example, if I get in and I'm waiting for the band to come on and I want a slice of pizza, I can't go. Once you're in, you're in. That's kind of harsh.
Well, that's our show for today. I'm Jeff Birmingham, and this was My Top Story in downtown Vancouver.